All right, to start with, we're going to learn a little bit on how to find different parts in Multisim. So the first thing I'm going to find is the digital clock that we have here. So what I would do is come up to Place and Component, and we'll do a search. And you'll want to type it in the way you see it on the screen. And I'm going to put it over Component, and it'll be Digital Clock. What it will do is find it, which it did. You can see the symbol here. Then I'm going to click OK, but it also tells you in which library it was located. So it's in the master database under Sources, Digital Sources, and you have Digital Clock. There's a few others in here that are very useful. So that's where you'd find that. I'll just temporarily put it there and close. And then the next one you might want to find is the interactive digital content or constant. So you might recall we found that if we go up to Place, Component, we found that in this same area, Digital Sources. So we'll do Digital Constant. I'll put that there. And we'll also do Interactive Digital Constant. Now I'd like to find the bar LED. It's called bar LED yellow 4. So we'll find it by going to Place, Component, Search, and then bar LED. And I don't think it matters if it's upper or lowercase. Okay, it finds it, and it'll also tell us where it was. So you'll notice it found it in diodes LED. Now, if I want to find the hex display, and the least significant bit is on the right-hand side, most significant bit is on the left. Since I'm not using either of them, I've connected them to ground. But to find it, you're going to find that under diodes LED. So I'm going to go to Place, Components, and let's go to Diodes, LED, and bar LED yellow 4 is what I was looking for. Okay, and if you wanted to find the 7-segment display, it's under bar LED, but this time it's a 7-segment display. Now I want to look for this hex digit display, and for that I'm going to go to Place, Component. It's actually going to be an indicator, and it's a hex display. So you have bar graphs, hex display, a probe, which we'll use. So there's all of these parts we can make use of. But for now, that's where I'd find the hex display. To find these devices, this is called a probe red. Okay, and for that probe, I went to Place, Component, and it's going to be a probe, and there's all sorts of colors if you want to use different colors. And then close that. To find this logic analyzer, the place I would go for that is to Simulate, Instruments, and you should find logic analyzer right here. Okay, and you want to connect the logic analyzer to Q0 and to Q1 to simulate them. And when you open the logic analyzer, this is what you will see. If I want to simulate it, I would click Run, and it's running and producing my signals. Now normally I would just leave this at a 1. And one thing that's very helpful here is to actually use these pointers here, because what I can do is when I move this blue one, I'm actually looking at, I believe, the top one. This is T1. So I'm moving it from here, which is a logic 0, and then it goes to 2, seems to skip 1, 3, 0. I think I'm actually doing the bottom. So let's stop this for a second. We'll let it run. We'll reset it, and then we'll stop it. and then you can actually move backwards in time. But what I'm looking for, I suppose this is the bottom one. Yes, because both of these bars are both high and you're seeing a 3 down here. So let's see how it counts. It starts off at 0. Don't forget we're using the 2, which is the blue, and then it goes to 1, and then 3, 0, 1, 3, 0, 1, 3. And you should see the counter work that way as well. The other thing you might want to do is click over here at Set and use external clock source, because we're going to connect it to our clock. And you might add an extra digit here for the post trigger. So make the post trigger 10,000, threshold voltage 2.5, and then click OK. Now if I run it as well, or if I'm running it, you can see it's counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to slow it down a little bit, we can do that. So if we come over to here, I'm going to stop first, change the frequency to 20. And for that, we have to come here to value, change that frequency to 20 Hertz. And then if we run it again, it's going to run more slowly. And let's say we wanted to put an indicator on our clock signal. The way that we do that, remember, it's a probe digital. So I go up to File, Component. We're already in the probe, so probe digital green. I'll say OK to that. I'll put it at this point, close this, and connect this. And now if we run it again, you see that's flashing every time it goes from a low to a high. It's actually measuring the high. It's giving me a pulse. And you can also see that the frequency, if I wanted to put a probe on the line and measure that frequency, I can do that as well. So let's put it at a different place. Let's put it, for example, on this Q output. So to do that, we'll stop, go to Place, Probe, and it's a digital probe. So we'll put it right on this point right here. And you'll notice it'll highlight when it's on the right point. And then if we run it again, it should also show you the frequency. If it's fast enough to measure, it'll show you the frequency, and it is. Okay, so that's the frequency of that signal. These are these pulses here. And I think that's just about everything you might need.